Listen closely. What you think you know about love, connection, your relationships, it's about to be completely torched and rebuilt from the ashes. Mark this date, April 24th, 2025. This isn't just another Tuesday, this is a cosmic reckoning. The sky itself is preparing to unleash an event so potent, so decisive for your relationships, that its echoes haven't been felt with this kind of shattering intensity in over a decade. Get ready, because Venus, the very essence of your heart, your desires, what draws you in, is on a collision course with Saturn, the great teacher, the Lord of Karma, the unyielding force of reality. When these two forces lock horns in perfect conjunction, ancient mystics didn't just call it an alignment. They called it the marriage of opposites, a fissure in the fabric of reality, a celestial doorway that doesn't just nudge relationships, it transforms them, right down to the bone, to the soul. This isn't theory. This isn't gentle guidance. This is an energetic shockwave building right now, preparing to crack open existence as you know it. And its tendrils, they're already reaching into every single relationship you have. Your lover, your family, your friends, even that uneasy truce you have with yourself. None of it is safe from this shift, ready or not. And listen closely. Have you felt it? That weird tension, that sudden, unexplainable distance from someone you thought was solid. Or maybe the opposite, an intense, magnetic pull towards someone, something that defies all logic. Tell me in the comments right now, have you sensed this shift already? Don't brush it off. That's the harbinger. That's the energy leaking through. Because there's a very specific reason this weirdness is intensifying for you right at this moment. I'll expose that hidden mechanism later. So do not click away. Stick with me. But first, understand this. April 24th isn't some random blip on the cosmic radar. Ancient civilizations didn't just observe this, they feared it. They prepared for it. They knew it was a tipping point, a moment where destinies pivot. And the energy? It's not waiting for the 24th. It's already here, seeping like a rising tide into your daily life. Your conversations, the unspoken things, it's subtly reshaping the landscape of your connections while you sleep, while you go about your day. Most people, they'll drift through this, oblivious, complacent. They'll miss the signs, they'll ignore the pull. They'll wake up on April 25th feeling vaguely unsettled, never knowing the monumental opportunity or the profound danger that just slipped through their grasp. But you won't, because by the time this message ends, you won't just understand what's coming. You'll know how to weaponize this energy, how to navigate this portal, how to use its raw power to either solidify what's real or shatter the illusions holding you captive. This will change everything in your relationship sphere, but only if you have the eyes to see what's truly unfolding. Forget gentle planetary dances. This conjunction, think fire meets ice. Think irresistible force slamming into an immovable object. Venus, dripping with desire. Beauty, the sweet pull of attraction, crashes headlong into Saturn, the cold, hard reality check. Discipline, boundaries, the weight of consequences, and long-term commitment. Pause. Really let that sink in. The planet ruling your heart's deepest yearnings is merging its fire with the planet that governs your limits, your duties, the karmic debts you carry. This isn't a cosmic coincidence. It's alchemy. It's the universe deliberately forcing a reaction. The ancients weren't wrong calling it the crystallization of love. This is the pressure point. Under this gaze, flimsy connections, superficial attractions, they don't just fade, they shatter like glass under pressure. But relationships built on truth, on genuine commitment, on facing the hard realities together, they don't just endure, they solidify, they become unbreakable, forged in cosmic fire. Think of it as a relationship X-ray, a brutal cosmic truth serum. It bypasses the pleasantries, the masks, the hopeful projections, and reveals the skeleton beneath. What's really holding things together, or what's already fractured beyond repair? And here's the part most will tragically overlook. This isn't just about romance. Oh no, this energy bleeds into everything. Friendships built on convenience, expect them to crack. Family dynamics rooted in unspoken obligation, prepare for the fault lines to show. Colleagues you navigate with polite fictions. The masks will slip. Even your relationship with yourself, your self-worth, your boundaries, your ability to commit to your own truth is going under this intense cosmic scrutiny. Nothing remains untouched. The veil isn't just thinning, it's being ripped away. The gap between what your heart wants and what your soul needs, what Saturn demands for true growth, is about to become painfully, undeniably clear. And when that happens, everything changes. You'll feel it. Maybe you already do. An almost gravitational pull towards certain people. It makes no sense on paper. Maybe they're new. Maybe they're from your past. But the connection feels inevitable, fated. Does that sound familiar? That magnetic draw that overrides logic? Or perhaps it's the reverse. People you've known forever, people you thought were permanent fixtures, suddenly feel distant, like there's an invisible sheet of ice between you. A coldness, an inexplicable disconnect. You try to bridge it, but the energy just isn't there anymore. This is not random. Don't dismiss it as mood swings or temporary phases. This is the portal's energy actively rewiring your relational grid. It's the unseen hand of Saturn testing the foundations, while Venus pulls on the threads of true resonance. As April 24th looms closer, this sensation, it will amplify. Thoughts of someone long gone might flood your mind with burning intensity. A current relationship might suddenly demand a deeper dive, revealing either profound intimacy or cracks so deep you can't ignore them anymore. Pay attention. These aren't just feelings. They are cosmic signposts. The universe is literally using magnetism, attraction, and repulsion to show you who belongs in the next chapter and who needs to be released. Some souls entering your orbit now carry lessons you've been unconsciously begging for years. Others, they'll drift away, not out of malice, but because their energetic contract with you is complete. Their departure creates the necessary void for what Saturn and Venus are trying to build. But grasp this critical truth. Nothing is happening to you by accident right now. Every strange encounter, every tense conversation, every sudden wave of closeness or inexplicable feeling of wrongness, it is loaded with meaning. The real question isn't if you'll feel these shifts. The question is, will you have the courage to recognize them for the cosmic directives they truly are? The universe isn't cruel, it's relentless in its pursuit of your evolution. And this Venus-Saturn portal, it's like a high-intensity spotlight aimed directly at the relationship patterns you've been dragging around like chains, maybe for years, maybe for lifetimes. That fight that keeps happening, just with different faces. That crippling fear of being truly seen, that sabotages intimacy the moment it gets real. That tendency to become a chameleon, losing yourself completely in others, or the opposite, walling off your heart, terrified to commit. It's all coming up now. Not as punishment, not to torture you, but because Saturn, the great taskmaster, paired with Venus, demands accountability in matters of the heart. Saturn doesn't just test, it teaches. And the lesson right now is about love. Real love. Not the fantasy, but the kind that requires structure, boundaries, responsibility, and truth. This isn't about blame. This is preparation. Because hear this, you cannot walk through this April 24th portal carrying the dead weight of your past relationship baggage. You cannot anchor into a new reality of connection while clinging desperately to patterns that belong to a timeline that's expiring. Something has to break. Illusions must shatter for something authentic to be born. That's the non-negotiable price of admission through this gateway. The relationships that make it through this crucible, they won't just survive, they will be reforged, stronger, deeper, more resilient, and soul-aligned than anything you've experienced before. And the connections that crumble under this pressure, understand this, they were never meant to make the journey with you into what comes next. Their purpose is fulfilled. Yes, this exposure might feel raw, brutal even, like your entire relationship history is on trial. But remember this, discomfort is the antechamber of transformation. Lean into it. This alignment, it's deeper than just the here and now. When Venus and Saturn collide like this, they don't just stir the present, they activate karmic threads. Ancient debts, unfinished business stretching back through lifetimes you don't consciously remember. Relationships that feel impossibly intense during this window. People who trigger reactions in you that feel disproportionately huge. Often, these carry soul contracts, agreements made on other planes of existence, waiting for this precise cosmic alignment to surface for resolution. Ancient wisdom knew this. They understood these celestial moments could thin the veil, allowing past life dynamics, unresolved conflicts, and karmic lessons to bleed through into the present. Suddenly, you might understand that irrational fear around a certain person. You might see a destructive pattern repeating, realizing it didn't start in this life. You might even experience shocking reconciliations or find sudden, profound closure with ghosts from your past. This portal isn't just about creation, it's about completion. Karmic loops that have kept you trapped, maybe for centuries, are presenting a rare, powerful opportunity to be broken. Finally. But here's the dangerous edge. Whatever karmic lessons, whatever pattern you avoid facing during this potent window, it doesn't disappear. Oh no, it amplifies, it digs in deeper. The universe, through Saturn, is offering a chance, a moment of grace to resolve this now, to step off the wheel. Ignore this chance, refuse the lesson, the pattern will return, guaranteed. But next time, it will likely be harder, more painful, more disruptive. This isn't a threat, it's how cosmic law works. Consider this Saturnine pressure a form of mercy, a chance to deal with it now before it grows stronger. Forget linear time, forget predictable progressions. During cosmic power surges like this Venus-Saturn conjunction, the normal rules of time and space get bent, especially around the themes governed by the planets involved. In this case, relationships. What felt like a distant dream years away, it might suddenly accelerate, demanding your attention now. Connections that felt stuck in neutral, they could leap forward with shocking speed. Plans you meticulously laid out, they might dissolve overnight, making space for something you couldn't even have conceived of last month. This is the secret most people miss about real astrology. It's not just symbolic weather forecasting. These energies literally warp the probability field around specific areas of your life. And right now, the area being reshaped, restructured, possibly even rebooted, is your entire relationship matrix. You might find yourself making huge relationship decisions, commitments, endings, relocations that just weeks ago felt impossible or premature. Clarity might descend like lightning regarding connections that have baffled you for ages. You could meet someone and feel an instantaneous recognition, a sense of having known them forever. Because maybe, on some other timeline braided with this one, you have. The normal, comfortable pace is suspended. Everything related to Venus, love, value, connection, and Saturn, structure, reality, time, karma, is accelerating, intensifying, rising from the depths into plain sight. For those who are awake to this, those who can ride this wave instead of fighting the current, the transformations possible now are staggering, miraculous even. But resistance? It will feel like drowning. Let's be brutally honest. Not everything erupting during this period will feel like sunshine and roses. Saturn doesn't do easy. Saturn tests. Saturn restricts. Saturn applies pressure. When fused with Venus, this translates directly to your relationships facing trials that might feel crushing. Issues you successfully swept under the rug for years, they'll erupt. Difficult conversations you've masterfully avoided, they become unavoidable. Needs you've suppressed, yours or theirs, will scream for attention. It might genuinely feel like things are falling apart at the seams. But here is the secret, the pearl hidden inside the grit. Sometimes things must be broken apart to be rebuilt on a foundation of truth. Saturn destroys weak structures. Every single challenge, every argument, every moment of tension emerging now carries a gift. It's wrapped in sandpaper, yes, but it's a gift nonetheless. That fight? It holds the potential for radical honesty and deeper understanding if you navigate it consciously. That painful distance? It creates the space needed to evaluate what truly matters, potentially leading to a closeness you never imagined. Relationships that withstand Saturn's trials don't just limp back to normal. They transform. They gain resilience, authenticity. They become aligned with your soul's true trajectory in a way comfortable illusions never could. This isn't about fixing things to get back to how they were. It's about transcending the limitations of the past, building something real. But it demands courage. You have to be willing to face the uncomfortable truths, to have the conversations that make your stomach clench, to look without flinching at the reality of your connections, warts and all. The magic doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you dare to face the pressure. Beneath all this surface turmoil, something even deeper is stirring. Ancient agreements. Soul contracts, penned long before you drew your first breath in this life, are being activated by this Venus-Saturn frequency. You might feel it as an unshakable knowing about someone, a certainty about their significance that bypasses your logical mind entirely. You might experience that lightning bolt of recognition with a stranger. Déjà vu so intense, it stops you in your tracks. You might feel inexplicably drawn to certain places, situations, or people, feeling a sense of destiny you can't explain. These are not random whims. These are cosmic appointments, contracts coming due, agreements between souls, scheduled for this precise moment, being called forward. Not everyone you know holds such a contract with you, but those who do, they will become unmistakable during this portal window. The connection will feel different, charged, heavier with purpose, tinged with the echoes of lifetimes. Pay close attention to who enters your life, who reappears, who intensifies in significance in the weeks clustered around April 24th. Notice the synchronicities, the dreams, the coincidences that seem to weave certain people into your path. These aren't chance encounters. They are divinely orchestrated. Soul contracts don't always mean happily ever after. Sometimes they bring challenging lessons, necessary endings, profound, disruptive transformations, but always, without fail, they serve your highest evolution. The crucial question isn't if these contracts are activating. It's whether you possess the awareness to recognize them, honor their purpose, and consciously engage with the soul work they bring. This window of opportunity, it's fleeting. The exact peak is April 24th, but the intense energetic charge extends roughly a week before and a week after. This gives you a precious, concentrated period, maybe 2 weeks total, to consciously work this potent magic before the energy recedes and stabilizes into a new normal. Don't let this slip away. Here's how to navigate this intensity. 1. Demand clarity. Saturn rewards precision. Venus requires intention. Get brutally honest with yourself. What do you truly require in your relationships? Not the superficial wants, not what society dictates, but what your soul demands for authentic connection and growth. Write it down, speak it, anchor it in reality. 2. Confront the shadows. This portal demands courage. It punishes avoidance. Those difficult conversations, the truths you've been swallowing, the decisions you've been endlessly delaying, now is the time. The universe is backing your play for authenticity right now in a way it won't again for years. Face it. 3. Decode the synchronicities. The universe is practically screaming at you right now, but it speaks in symbols, repeated numbers, meaningful coincidences, animals crossing your path, dreams that feel intensely real and prophetic. Stop ignoring them. These are signposts, guidance systems. Pay attention, journal them, ask what they mean for you. 4. Trust the unraveling. What falls away now? It's making space. It had to go. What challenges you? It's forging your strength. What confuses you? It's breaking down old paradigms to prepare you for a higher clarity. Surrender the need to control the outcome. Nothing happening in your relationship world right now is without profound purpose, even if it hurts. This Venus-Saturn portal is a gift. Rare, powerful, precisely timed. It's a cosmic intervention designed to accelerate your growth in love and connection. Do not sleep through this. Don't dismiss the whispers. Don't resist the necessary endings or the destined beginnings, because when the dust settles, when this intense energy stabilizes, when the portal finally closes, your relationship landscape, and likely you along with it, will be forever changed. The only question left is, will you be the conscious architect of that change, or will you simply be swept along by the inevitable tide? If you made it this far, your awareness is already heightened. Thank you for your attention, for tuning in to this critical frequency. If this resonated, if you felt that truth ignite within you, show your support. Hit that subscribe button. Your energy helps amplify this message. Share your experiences, the pulls, the tensions, the insights, in the comments below. Let's navigate this together. Until the next transmission, stay aware, stay courageous, and subscribe for more content that pierces the veil.